Hey guys, this is Juan for JuanSource.com. I'm going to be doing a demo commentary on DE Tuscan, and this match is 3D versus Chimera. This was from the CGS preseason matches just last week, in fact. And for those of you who don't know, like I said, this is on DE Tuscan, and it's a map very similar to DE CPL Mill. For those of you that have been requesting Mill, unfortunately I don't really have any Mill demos to comment on because it's only played in Cal, and I haven't played Cal in several seasons, so unfortunately I don't have any Mill demos to do, but the Tuscan's going to play very much the same way as Mill. So hopefully you'll be able to learn a lot of things in this commentary that you'll also be able to apply to Mill as well. So a couple things I want to say before I get started here is that we really did not scrim this map. In fact, we didn't scrim it at all. So the reason I'm doing this commentary then is really to kind of explain my thought process of I'm doing completely 100% on the fly calling. We don't have any set strats here. Everything's on the fly right now, and so I'm adapting. I'm calling all CT setups, all T strats on the fly. So I'm really going to try to explain my thought process while I'm doing that. Like I said, since we don't really have any practice on the map together. So let me go ahead and get started then. Right here, we start on the CT side, and what I want to do on the CT side is just be very aggressive right away, and this plays out for the same on Mill right away as well. Is it's hard to hold aggressives as a terrorist. I think aggressing on the CT side is definitely a good thing to do right off the bat, because you want to see if the other team can really hold your aggressives. And I've said this in other commentaries too, is if you want to start off aggressive, because if they can't hold your aggressives, then you're just going to be able to pound away at them the whole half. So what we do right here is we push up 2 from the kitty. I go through mid into the connector, into what I'm referring to, that is SA1, storage area 1. And we push into that kitty and through middle, and we try to pinch on those guys right there. Now, I'm not very familiar with the timings on this map. What I mean by that is when I'm going to be able to get to a certain spot as opposed to the terrorists spawning. And so they were able to get up very quickly, and I wasn't quite ready for that ARPA to be posted up on me. He did hit a nice shot on me. I think in a lot of cases people wouldn't hit that shot, and I would be able to get into that position against that corner while my teammates would push from the kitty. And it would have worked pretty well. However, they did get up there right away, and they are able to hold our aggressive, so that's probably not this. We don't want to push that again, for at least for several rounds, because they were able to do it well. However, that doesn't mean that we don't want to stop being aggressive. We really want to kind of test other areas of the map, see where they have problems holding, see kind of where they set up every round. A lot of teams will just kind of set up in a default, including us. Is you just kind of put guys in the same spot every round, and you want to see where those spots are weak right away, so you can try to exploit it later in the half. So what I do is I'm going into this window room area, and I'm playing this, and by the way, I'm going to refer to this as Z because it's kind of Z-shaped, and I'm going to be very aggressive on this throughout the half. I'm going to push it a lot. I'm going to random peek it a lot. But what I do here is I'm just kind of trying to group with my team. And I think we just got a pick. Yeah, we did just get a pick. And so I'm just playing the advantage like normal right here. I'm just kind of trying to spot and delay, because I don't think that solo guy is really trying to take a side on us, because I just don't want to let him pick me. So, but what happened at the other site was a couple of our teammates got picked. So I rotate through the spawn here. And it's unfortunate that I dropped through that window, because I have to rotate through spawn. And it's somewhat difficult to rotate through spawn, and I'm just getting hammered with nades. They know exactly where we are, so we pretty much have no chance to win this round. It's either a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-2, but even if it was like a 2-on-2, if we had equal advantage, it's still very difficult to win that round rotating through spawn, because it's such a small choke point, and I'm sure they can just pick up nades from all around the site and just keep spamming into us. And that's exactly what they did, and it worked out pretty well for them. But we do want to keep being aggressive. I tried being aggressive that last round, but he was already there by the time I got there. So what Noid and I are doing right here is we're double pushing that Z. Instead of him covering the banana from inside, since he couldn't afford an op, what we do is we push both down the Z and just rifle it and try to get as many inches as we got. We traded there. Unfortunately, Nick died on that drop back, but we were able to get one. So I keep pushing here because we're at a disadvantage, and so I'm trying to even it back up. However, I'm at really low health. Now it's down to like a 2 versus 4 because of picks at the other site. And so probably this should probably just turn into a save situation for me. Unless I'm gonna try to aggress here, see if I can see the bomb or anything. Try to change the momentum of the round, but that's not gonna happen. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and save out. But we are getting picked at the other site quite a bit. So what I probably want to do is either be aggressive even more so I can get into that SA2 area and clear that half of the map right away, or pre-rotate to the other site. But I think what I want to do is just continue being aggressive here. However, like I said before, I'm unfamiliar with the timings of this map here, so I want to be a little bit careful on this Z because I don't know how fast that guy can get to me. So instead of pushing out of the way, I just flash right there. I'm smoking into that to kind of make him think I'm playing the window area, make him kind of look towards that area so he can focus less towards where I am right now. So I'm doubling up with knowing the site, but once the picks happen at the other site, it's pretty obvious that they're probably going towards there. So what I'm doing right here now, I think it's even. I think it's 4 versus 4. So I wanna kind of be aggressive, just try to spot, see where they're coming, see if I can spot them, call for a rotate right away. And when my teammate gets a pick at the banana site, I realize they're probably going up banana, so I push down here, see if I can catch any guys off guard in mid. And sure enough, I caught the guy in mid off guard, and he had the bomb right then. And so now it's down to 20 seconds, and I think it's either a 2 versus 1 or a 2 versus 2. And I know the bomb down is in middle, and so I'm just kind of waiting here, seeing if that guy that was in the site that just killed Nick is still there, checking back on the bomb, and realizing there's only 9 seconds and there's no possible way they can plant. So I'm just going to run away and make sure there's nothing close to me. So that was our first round one. We're down 3-1. Things aren't going too well on our CT side. We're getting picked a lot, largely because we're not too familiar with the map. However, I think what we're doing here is at the B site is pretty good, although they're not hitting us very much. Now you see, I just get picked right away, and that's just not knowing the map very well. He could have very well bunny hopped to that position. I know Fam is a good bunny hopper, and he could have very well bunny hopped there and got there much faster than I do. However, I was a little bit careless peeking into that Z without really having my gun out. I just had a flash out when he peeked me, and so he got a free kill on me, which was unfortunate. But anyhow, so I'm going to point out a mistake that Noy does here. He just peeked out in the open with that flash, and so that's definitely something you don't want to do. And that's something that I still a lot of players do that is just a bad habit, and I do it. I catch myself doing it from time to time, is just peeking out with a nade. I mean, I see so many people just dying with nades out. It's not something you want to be doing. So just one thing that I do to try to eliminate that mistake is whenever I'm deathmatching, I just unbind nades so that I get in the habit of when I'm running around, I just don't pull out nades. And that's definitely something you want to try to work on. But so we're down 4-1, and we're on an eco. And obviously, you just want to be aggressive on these ecos. You want to be aggressive and random because you're not going to outshoot them. You don't want to just let them have possession of the map because they're going to they're just going to work up slowly. They're going to realize your eco, then they're all just going to hit one side of the map. So on these pistol ecos, you definitely want to be really aggressive. Try to isolate one side of the map, and then isolate the other once you get the guns from the guys that you killed. Hopefully. But that didn't work out for us. They weren't at the spot that we tried to clear. We were able to rotate back to where they were. However, they were already posted up on us and got some kills on us. But now we're just kind of trying to be random, stay together, try to get some guns and picks since we are really low money. But that didn't happen for us, and we're still really low money. I don't know how we got that low money, but it turns out that we're probably not going to be able to buy again. We have 3 guys under 3K, and so we're just going to deagle up. There's only 3 rounds to go, so we're going to deagle up here, and hopefully we'll be able to buy the next 2 rounds, win or lose. So again, we just pushed in the SA2. By the way, that's to the left of mid, storage area 2, and to the right here is SA1. But we just pushed into SA2, so what we probably want to try doing is pushing into SA1. We have one guy pushing from Kitty. I flash up right here, and we get this one guy soloed here, and that's what you want to do. You want to try to catch guys individual and get their guns. However, I got caught off guard. The 2 guys hit quickly up mid there, and so I got killed. But just notice what the rest of our team is doing. We're just being really aggressive, really random with those deagles, and just trying to get desperation kills, really, because you're not going to win the round just going to gun with them. So Sal did a good thing here. Once he got the gun, he just went like hunting for him, and just tried to catch him off guard. And so instead of just kind of sitting there waiting for our teammates to die, he was very active, and so they did a good job of searching them out, catching them off guard, and winning that eco. So our aggressive worked there. We've only won 2 rounds. One was due to a save out. The other was because of an aggressive at storage area 1. I would probably like to do that another time. However, we are running out of rounds, and I do want to just try this aggressive on Z again. And just pre-flash this corner. You know, you realize I made an adaptation there. I didn't peek that corner with a flash out, unlike the previous time. I pre-flashed that corner. However, somehow he wasn't blind. He turned his back to it, or some way or another. However, he got me. So what we're doing right now is pretty much every round they've won a day. So look at what Nick's doing. He's taking a chance. We're at a disadvantage. He's taking a chance by rotating towards that window and just checking back and being very active and very, very aggressive here. Meanwhile, Kyle's in this mid, and he's again trying to just get entries into this site, being aggressive, but that didn't quite work out for him. Now it's down to, I believe, a 3 versus 1. If Nick's low money, he should probably just save out right now, and I imagine that's going to be what he's doing. Oh, now it's down to a 1 versus 1 actually. But oh no, I'm sorry, it's a 2 versus 1. But he didn't have a kid either way, so. Okay, so now it's the last round, and we're down 6-2 on the CT side. So this has been a pretty bad half. All I can afford is a deagle. So what I want to do is probably just either stick with a teammate, rush somewhere, or just sit way back and wait for him to come to us, because they have been getting a lot of entries on us. So I think what I'm going to do probably right here is yes, exactly, is I sit in the window right here and just kind of spot a little bit. I don't want to give him a chance to get an entry on me, because he has entered me, I think, 2 or 3 times thus far this half, and I don't want to allow that to happen. So I just kind of do my nade pattern that I've been doing on previous rounds to make him think I've been playing the same, and then I just kind of go back and play with Nick in the site here. Once I hear the fire over at the banana, I'm probably going to rotate to there as soon as Nick calls. He sees another one, but when he says that, I'm just going to kind of flash through here and then just immediately go to into banana and try to help hold that, and just be random and whatever with this deagle. I'm able to get 1 kill, and I think I don't have a source TV, but I think my rest of my teammates got the bomb down at the other site. Yeah, so I just tried to group with my teammates, but the round was already over at that point. Okay, so for T side here, again, we didn't have any set strats, so I'm calling pretty much everything on the fly. And for Mill or Tuscan, I think T side is really all about timing and hitting the sites together. I really think just like a simple 3-2 split on the A or 1 site is referred to on Mill, like 3 going up towards Kitty and 2 going up mid or so, maybe 1 going through the sewer vent. Is really effective. I think it's simple. If you just take your time, draw some nades, and just time it well, I think it's really pretty easy to take the A site. And I think this half can be pretty T-sided if a team is well coordinated. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do. Test it out early, see how successful we are at the A site, and then adapt, maybe throw in some fakes later in the half. So what I'm going to probably do here is just group up with Noit in storage area 2 to my right here, and we're just going to take our time, slow clear the middle. And like I mentioned earlier, it's somewhat hard to hold the aggressives on the terrorist side. If a team wants to push banana and push mid, it's somewhat difficult to hold, because they really pinch us. So we're worried about both areas right now, and we don't want to stay in this area for much longer, because we're very likely to get pinched. So I flash up the mid, and I'm going to wait for my opera to come towards me, and then we're going to peek out on this together, and then I'm going to try to get into the connector to my left. and then just kind of get in here and wait for the guys up kitty. Like I said, this is all about timing. And the opera re-peeked on me. I didn't expect that, and he kind of caught me off guard there. But anyhow, so we did get like a trade kill in middle, and now we're just waiting for our kitty guys to go up. A lot of times you want to put a lot of pressure on the middle, and then hit up kitty, and you want to switch it off. You want to, if you're going to run this strat a lot, just like a basic 3-2, you want to switch off the timing on it. Sometimes you want the kitty guys to hit first, sometimes you want the mid guys to get hit first. And this is going to be a concept that I do throughout the half, is I'm just going to call, okay, mid hit now, and you're going to see the variations in the timings of when we hit. And I think that can make a big difference in how successful you are taking at A. Because otherwise you can get too predictable. Like a lot of times the kitty guys will just focus on kitty if they know the kitty guys are going to come up first, and then switched over to mid. So you want to keep them keep them guessing rather. But again, I think we're probably going to do that same strat. As it worked well, we were able to get picks. We realized they were crossfire picking the middle. So what I probably want is the guys to come up kitty first this time. And notice what I'm doing here is I'm just smoking off our right side and kind of flashing it to push them back. I'm really just discouraging aggressives from the counter terrace at banana and Z. Once they get a pick over at the other site, we're in a kind of a bad position here at storage area 2. We were so far pushed back that instead of trying to take it, I just go back towards the guys at storage area 1 and try to take that with them. While Noid is just kind of posting up on pushes, watching for rotates. And I'm going to slow clear this mid. Once I clear this mid, I'm probably going to call for Noid to come through SI2, and him and I to take up middle together. Once Mikey gets that kill at kitty, and I see that guy in middle, the middle guy is probably going to stay focused on the middle. So what I do is I rotate over the kitty right away and come out right here. And so my teammate and I are hopefully able to get up there and trade. However, he did hit 2 nice shots on us. So now I think it's down to a 1 versus 1 or 1 versus 2. And so Nick only has 6 seconds here, and he really has to hurry. So he does a good job of noticing that, and he just pulls out the bomb right away. And know that you have to have like 3 seconds on the timer. And so if you have less than that, you definitely want to just go out and try to kill him within those next 3 seconds, because there's no way you're gonna get the bomb planted. And so he did a good job of realizing that. However, he was just off on that timing right there, so he was able to get the bomb plant, but. So what we want to do here is we lost that round, and we just kind of want to keep switching things up right here a little bit until we find something that's working pretty well. But we don't want to let them know for sure that we're switching things up. So notice I send one guy over to the other site, and I do the similar nades here that I did on the previous round. So we have one guy working the kitty, so we're not completely kind of giving away that we're working the other site. We're just kind of taking this slow, and we're going to do a walk pick here because this is a spot that's very open to getting flashed. And when I'm a counter terrorist here, I just love flashing this and pushing, although it didn't work out too well for me. You can really flash this area and push it really easily. So what we do is we walk up. We don't want to give away that we're playing this spot so that they can flash us. All we do is just walk up. And I think that's a very effective way to take that area. And notice how we kind of baited method there. We let him walk up, and we just kind of sat behind him because we were just giving him cover. In case he were to get flashed, we were able to drop back and counter flash for him. And so like he would be safe if he was able to get pushed, but he was able to get the pick walking up there, and so we did a good job of kind of taking that site. We took into the site together, got the trade kill. That was the most important thing, and got the bomb planted. So that worked well. I think a good idea would probably just to be to test that again, and just see kind of how they adapt, and so I can change my strats later in the half to see how they're adapting to us taking these sites. So we're going to do kind of something similar. We have one guy working mid and one guy working kitty to hold map control so they can't over-rotate to where we are here, and we again just walk up, slowly clearing spots, not allowing them to nade us. We just sit back on him, and Mikey is able to get the pick by just walking up. He caught that guy off guard. I double flashed in the site right here, and we take up together, making sure that we get trade kills. Mikey got the entry, and so this should be pretty easy here. Just plant the bomb, and that's probably going to be the round. I think it's down to a 2 versus 5 or 2 versus 4. And at this point, it's going to be something we do throughout the half. Is we're up on rounds right now. I think we're up 3-2 right now. And when you're up on rounds, it generally means you're up on money too. And in that case, you usually want to chase kills. You want to force them to save, okay? Because when you're winning rounds, you're going to have a lot more money than the other team. So if you die and lose your gun, it's not really going to matter because you're not really taking a huge risk because you can pretty much just buy the next round. However, if you take out their gun, they're going to be forced to eco that much sooner. So you definitely want to chase when you're at a money advantage. On the contrary, if you're at a disadvantage, say you've won 1 round to their 4 rounds, you definitely don't want to chase because they're at a big advantage. A lot of teams will just try to stay disciplined all the time. Like, they'll try to just not push and not chase those kills, and that's not what you want to do all the time. When you're at a big advantage, you definitely want to chase instead of just being patient all the time. But okay, so this is what I was talking about before, is changing the timings on this mid. And so we want to take this mid much quicker because they got used to before our slow kitty and hitting kitty first, then up mid. So what we do here is we change it up, is we hit mid very quickly. Just to keep them off guard, and it worked very well. We hit up mid, then they hit up kitty, and we pinched on the guys perfectly in the site. So again, we're up on money, and we want to definitely chase kills at this point. But obviously you want to cover the bomb too. You don't want to give that up. Give a ninja defuse up. It's actually happened in a match to me. Happened in a match to me one time on train. A guy 5 vs 1 defused against us. So. You definitely want to keep an eye out for that, but at the same time, have the rest of your teammates chase, try to get this guy with the gun down, make sure he can't save it. Okay, so we've had a lot of success on T side so far. We've been successful walking up in that Z. We've been successful in mid and cat splits. What we're probably going to do is that again. I think we're just going to go up here. Notice how we double smoke off this mid right away. We want to just kind of explode on this mid, force this guy back, and then just get up right away here before they can flash us. And so I got up there and I killed 2 guys. Don't ask me how, but I was completely blind, and I just spammed. And we got up before the flashes popped, so I was able to kill 1 at least, seeing him, and we just caught him off guard by just changing up our timing. Again, I'm chasing kills here. Notice I have 16,000, so it's pretty obvious that I'm not going to be money hurting if I die. So yeah, I was able to get 2 kills there, and now they're going to be even that much more hurt for money. Okay, so now we're up 8-7, and we've had success all over the map, and I really don't have to adapt quite so much yet. However, they are aggressive middle right here, so what we want to do is we want to flash on that and push out right away. I made a little bit of a mistake here by hesitating, as well as I think I missed both my nades, which is kind of embarrassing, but anyhow, you definitely want to push into that mid right away. Call for help from your SA1 if those guys are pushing. And notice too that how Noit and I covered that storage area too. He would post up on the left side looking towards the Z and banana, while I would post up on the right side looking towards mid. As soon as I saw anything in middle, I would immediately flash at mid and push it. However, I did take too long to peek it before or after I threw my flash, and so he was able to kill me coming up there. Okay, so we've had success walking up that window. So I think probably what we want to do is try that again one of these rounds, or that fast mid, because those have been 2 very successful things. They haven't really shown signs of adapting yet, and by that I mean like pushes, and over rotates to the other side. I haven't really seen a whole lot of that yet, so I'm just going to kind of continue what we've been doing here, but kind of throw a slight fake at the other side. Notice on my radar, you might not be able to see it, but we have that one guy walk picking into the window right here, and so we're kind of a little bit more spread out on the map, and so he's going to just kind of try to draw rotates or at least hold the other guys in the site. And so when I get kind of spot in the middle right here, I go over towards Kitty right away because we just kind of want to rush at together. However, we made a mistake here of not really covering each other. When I got there, my teammates were kind of halfway pushed up Kitty. What I probably should have done is just kind of sit back in SA1 a little bit, baited them a little bit, not because to for the sake of baiting them, but because in case they were to get blind, I could counter flash without me being flashed myself. And so I wasn't able to do that because I was pushed up with them, and so one was able to just flash and mode on 3 of us. And so that's definitely something you don't want to let happen. So I think what we'll probably try in this last round is just again walking up into that window room because we've been successful every time doing that, and so we're gonna just go ahead and do that again. I smoke this banana to discourage pushes, and then we just kind of work up right here, spot these corners, let one guy lead, the other two kind of sit back a little bit. However, we're gonna kind of make a mistake here by not really fully checking this corner right here, and as well as not really anticipating how they're gonna play. That Trip just hid behind that box there, and he's able to kill 3 of us by doing that. And the reason why they were able to do that is because we really hadn't hit up banana as our primary kind of take. What we've been doing is going through that Z hallway through window into B every time we've taken it. And so what they figured is, okay, we don't really have to worry about banana because they're not really taking up there first. They're taking from Z, so we'll just stack Z. And once they hit up Z, then we'll rotate over to banana. And that's a good way of thinking on their part. And I probably should have anticipated something like that, a stack. And that's exactly why you want to kind of vary up where you hit. Even if you're taking the very same site, because they did make a good adaptation there, and so we lost the round. But so we're going into overtime here, and it was 9-9. We're going to overtime, and now it's pistol round overtimes, and so we haven't had one of these in a long time, and so obviously we don't really have a stress out for it. But I do just want to mention that I think a great strat on almost any map is just a 5 Glock rush somewhere, because if you really think about it from a CT's perspective, if you turn a corner and see 5 guys rushing you with a Glock, and they all have armor, and they all can jump up and down and try to avoid your shots and just peg you, it's really difficult to stop. And I think 5 Glock rushes are awesome because you have armor, you can just jump around, and you just assault one guy. It's unlikely that counter terrorist is going to get more than 1 kill on the terrorist, so they should be able to take the site relatively easily. So what you want to do is just, in this case, well, I suppose not in all cases, but in this case, what we want to do is just Glock rush one area, and we figured banana would be a pretty good area to hit since we really haven't hit it yet. Given the way they played on the previous round, they're probably making some assumptions that we won't hit it. So what we do is we just get up right away and we just straight rush banana, not worrying about too much else. We're not holding map control because we're rushing. We don't have to worry about it so much. So we get up right here, we keep charging, and we get up on this guy, just keep rolling, and we got the kill on the site. I have the bomb, so what I do is I check this back hall, make sure there's nothing close on me, and then I should be clear to plant. And so look how easy we took the site with those Glocks. I don't know if he got 1 entry on us, but it's just so easy to rush up there, and you're fully accurate pretty much while strafing with those Glocks. So it's definitely a good thing to do in those types of overtime or pistol round situations. So I hope you learned a lot, and I look forward to doing the next one. We'll see ya.